Hey, what's going on guys? I am XenoGenic, and welcome to the first episode of TF2 Loadup. Before I start, I'm happy that several people have made suggestions in my announcement video, which has helped me to start the series. So forth, so what? Let's begin. This week's loadout comes from Kadamono, who has suggested the 3rd degree, flare gun, and Phlogstinator. For the first weapon is the Phlogstinator, or what everyone calls it, the Phlog. The Phlog perks that are upon dealing damage, the Phlog starts to generate oomph, which, when fully charged and activated, gives a brief invulnerability and temporarily 100% critical hits. The brief invulnerability includes any melee, backstabs, incoming fire, and any sort of knockback and damage while the taunt is active. The oomph only lasts for 10 seconds and still counts with the taunt. To fully charge the oomph meter, you will need to inflict 300 points of damage to enemy players, or during MVM, you will need to at least deal 1,200 damage to enemy robots and 3,000 to tanks. These do stack together, so as long as you're dealing damage, you'll be able to recharge the oomph meter. Since the Phlog requires alternate fire or standard taunt to activate the oomph, it cannot air blast, which means you won't be able to deflect projectiles such as rockets, grenades, and arrows. This weapon does not give random critical hits as well, since the oomph gauge already deals the critical hits for 10 seconds. Damage models on the Phlog starts at 4.76 per particle from the flamethrower's maximum range, while at 6.8 at close range. Mini crits deal 6 at its maximum range and 9 at close range. Critical hits start at 14 at close range and all the way to 20 at close range. Once an enemy is on fire, enemies stay ignited for 10 seconds unless extinguished by a friendly air blast, Mad Milk, Girardi, or even health pickups. The afterburn lasts 20 ticks, dealing 3 damage per tick, making a total of 60 damage if the enemy stays on fire for that burn period. Mini crit afterburns stay for the same duration but deals 4 damage per tick, making a total of 80 damage if the enemy has a Mark for Death active or any mini crit debuffs active. The Phlog carries 200 ammo capacity. The Phlog in MVM is extremely powerful, especially when dealing with tanks. Upgrading its damage recharges the oomph meter even faster, meaning more oomph charges. But when using this weapon, since you have no air blast, making medic separations or heavy critical fire or massive rocket fire can be really harder to split. It's also recommended to get resistance to bullet, critical, and explosions. As a pyro that you don't ignite, you can still get damaged. Recommended at least 60% resistance. If you're going to main pyro with the Phlog as well, get health with kills, because you will be getting shot and damaged a lot. And it's going to keep you going. It's really common to see this in the last wave of MVM, really during the Gutenberg stage where there's about 3 tanks, because they melt the tanks really instantly, especially with about 5 pyros. They don't even get past the gate. Next we moved on to the flare gun, which is the second weaponry for the pyro, which is a single shot projectile which ignites the enemies when hit. If the enemy is on fire, the weapon deals 100% critical damage. The projectile drops after a few meters. It doesn't lose any range, but in order to hit your target from long range, you will need to aim up a bit. The flare gun requires good accuracy as it doesn't splash. When the weapon's not in use, it will automatically reload. The weapon can be obtained through the milestone achievement, drop or unboxed. The flare gun does 30 damage at any range and ignites enemies. It deals 41 with mini crits. Critical hits with this weapon deal 90 damage, meaning 2 really good shots can kill a sniper, scout, spy or engineer when ignited. But generally, afterburns on a Demoman medic can leave them about 2 to 3 good shots with a good amount of afterburn. The flare gun carries 16 flares as a reserve. Flare guns are really helpful for quick kills on enemies who are taking control points, camping engineers, scouts, with carefully placed shots upon them being ignited. During MVM, the flare gun is not really highly recommended as you mainly rely on your flamethrower, and that some robots regen health during their stages, meaning that they will heal faster more than you can deal the critical hits. And lastly is the 3rd degree, a melee axe which has the unique ability which allows damage to be carried over to enemies connected to the medigun. This only affects enemy players and can stack if a medic is healing another medic to another player. Damage does not travel over to friendly spies when disguised. Normal damage deals 65 per hit, 81 with mini crits, and 195 with critical hits. This is an axe which I rarely seen being used, as most pyros use a flamethrower to take out a medic with the other plane being healed. Unless if it's those lucky, fair and balanced, magical critical hits, then that's when the axe becomes quite useful. In case of MVM, waves that have medics with giant robots are suicidal, not useful for MVM as there are several medics healing. The giants will have other medics supporting them when they are being healed, and it will just get its health back when the hit happens. Even giant medics who heal extremely fast, it's not worth having this weapon. Especially with a lot of quick fix medics, they just get their health back instantly. I don't see this weapon being used in MVM, I don't think it should be used. The loadout for PvP is great, as the Phlog can suddenly change the game, and with a pocket medic who is using the standard medigun can basically turn you into an insane killing machine when timed right. As the flare gun goes, it's great for taking out support classes and the weaker offensive-defensive classes, as well as mid-long range targets who you really want to kill. The third degree, however, it's not really a good pick, as taking down a medic-heavy combo, in this case 3 swings or a critical hit, can get rid of the medic. And if the healing player has noticed that the medic is dead, by the time the next swing comes, you'll pretty much either A, be dead by a heavy, or B, whoever the hell he's healing. In MVM, the Phlog is really good in the later waves, when you've built up your resistances, when you've got more damage, and that you can generate your oomph a lot faster. Even with tanks, it becomes a lot useful, dealing 28 to 42 with the maximum damage output, and when oomph is activated. As far as the earlier waves, health on kills, resistances, damage, and ammo capacity. But other flamethrowers such as the backburner that deal critical hits when you hit an enemy from the rear and can air blast is probably more suited for MVM. And that concludes today's episode of TF2 Loadup. If you'd like to see your loadout appear in the next episode of TF2 Loadout, write in the comments section below what you'd like to see. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content. I'm XenoGenic, and I'll see you in the next episode of TF2 Loadup.